Happy Monday, everybody. This is your favorite crypto trading show, Crypto and Coffee with the Trading Bros. I'm your host, Clutch Crypto. We got B. Wellington on the charts, man, and we both caught this sweet moves to the downside. We did end up getting locked out in profit, but guys, there is some big liquidity that's out there on the open market books. We're going to find out where that is here just shortly on the show. But before we get off into that, B. Wellington, let's talk about the charts. Let's talk about OI funding rates and upcoming news this week to see if is this
Hey,
going to
that's
be
a brand new introduction right there.
is this
That's
going to
all.
be a downer week or are we going to have an upper week? So let's see what we got.
You always take your sip after your. I mean, look, we are.
I always do that.
Yeah, yep.
Okay.
We have been talking about this for a long time now. Look, we came off of this. This is on the daily, right? This is on ETH daily. We halfway anticipated that we would get up into this area. Because we had already previously touched this. This was a natural area of resistance, right? But we didn't even get there. So kind of, got a little bit over this 50. Really no volume coming in, and it's just been all to the downside from there. So, on the daily, as you can see there, I mean, it takes a long time to get here. But we've had this low that was in at this 1353. We broke past that. I've always expected us to come back to this 1241, 1260 area. Just a couple different reasons. One, Clutch will tell you. Go ahead. Tell them why they want to come
Oh
back to
man,
this
we got
area.
to open CME at
Yeah.
1262. We almost got to it last night, but not quite.
So, and we've got these vectors here in which it kind of launched from this pattern in this zone here to get us all the way up to that 2000 price. But we've come back here to double tap, what some people call a double tap. So we're either going to hold in this area, which is just 1241 area, and start to move back to the upside, or you're going to decide they're going to come down and recover these vectors. If they start to recover these vectors down in this area, this is still an imbalance in the chart here, so expect that is in play. And we've seen the economic as far as the macro is concerned. So our trend line from this down pattern here would bring us all the way down into this area. But I half anticipate us to break these lower lows, here in the next couple of months or so. But just a matter of, are they going to make another run up to the upside? We've talked about it, but even looking at lower time frames, where this is the hourly, we do have this area here. This would be that area of support. It's conceivably that we come back up into this daily open, back into this pivot point, which is 1385, because we have been going to the downside for a while. So you got a lot of shorts that got on board to that move. And so I would anticipate them coming back up into the 50, just as it naturally does, maybe even move back into the psychological ranges, back up here, bust out some more of these shorts before returning back to the downside. We'll just have to see if, when and if they decide to get those shorts. But that liquidity is up here. It's just a matter of, do they want to come get it? I anticipate that they will. It'd be a good false move to get up, today at some point, break that out, maybe hold it into Tuesday night, Wednesday for the Fed meeting coming up, and then having some tricky action there. But looking further at smaller time frames, again, we're at the 50 on the 14-minute. We could come back down here. We've got some vectors recovered down here. But again, a little bit of a move to the upside should be expected after the move to the downside that we've had, because we have had a lot of move to the downside. Man, my throat is is dry like a motherfucker. So there you go. So I think we'll have a little bit of a short-term move to the upside, but I think for the week, we probably, well, I won't say we'll end down. I mean, these CPI numbers have been kind of crazy how they react to them. But let's look at, we looked at OI for a little bit, 5.1 billion. negative 6.46. So this is just caused by that move to the downside. If you look at, Binance in particular, just kind of, I like to take a look at this. OI has still been dropping off. At some point, OI is going to start to increase when these prices go into a, steady direction one way or the other. When that happens and that OI does start to increase, look for a reversal, especially if CVD spot is heading that same direction. On balance, volume is kind of low as well. So again, anticipate a move to the upside. If we look at futures were down this morning. Market is open though, so this is actual market. So let me just refresh this. We've got negative 200 points here. So we open up to the downside, which is expected. I mean, all the market from a crypto standpoint was down. So you would anticipate that be down as well. But if we look at this week, screw all the rest of this data, man. Here's the day. It's Wednesday. This is when the magic happens. This is when the fuckery of the market will eventually take over. But we're waiting on Wednesday.
So that's the
basis point.
That's the day that they're going to announce their next hikes.
Their next actions of what they're going to do.
2.25% to 2.5%.
Yes, as far as a normalized rate. So, I mean, Warren Buffett came out this week and he says it's probably going to be a point. Everybody's anticipating 75. If it comes out in at a point and the market starts to pump, boy, that's going to be the greatest short of your life.
Yeah,
they'll come out and be like, oh man, the Fed really cares about the economy. They really try to get inflation under control. They've decided to hike. And if the market starts pumping, you just sit there with your finger on the short button. And get ready for that bitch to implode. But we'll see. We'll see what 75 to 50 to 75 was what everybody was anticipating was 50. But when we came out with that higher CPI number, then it moved up to 75. And it could go up to the 1 point. Jerome Powell's best friend, not best friend. You know who's every central banker's mentor is? Volcker. Right? Paul Volcker, that, tackled inflation last time I was here. He fucked around for a long time before he actually started increasing rates, right? He said he messed up by not increasing rates faster than what he anticipated.
I'm totally expecting that the Fed's really going to start hammering down some really high rates soon, because if they don't, we're never going to slow down.
Economy's out of control.
Exactly. But it's okay being out of control, because who likes to be normal, right?
No one.
Okay.
That's all I got.
I kind of figured that was about it. You kind of got somewhat quiet over there. So let's take a look over here. This is High Block Capital. And as you can see, we're at negative 50. Oh, well, it just went up. Negative $16 billion on the liquidation delta. So yes, hey man, definitely I do expect that there's going to be that move up as well. And as you can see here, 1354 is a $105 million liquidation that's still out there on the books. We have another one at 89 million at 1336. And then of course we got a 173 up here at 1442. And we still have that big guy that's still up here at 1589. So look, there is a real possibility that we could move all the way up into the 1500s. And, one or two things I think are going to happen, and they're complete opposites. But so the Fed's going to make their statement on Wednesday. We could continue to drop all the way down into Wednesday, and then have that, a really big time short squeeze if the Fed gives us some really good news. Or we could start coming up, getting this rebalance, getting a positive a little bit, and then the Fed comes out, gives their statement, and then we crash down into 12s, 11s, 10s, and maybe sub $1,000 ETH. So which
Man, you are really
what?
somebody out there with a portfolio scared in the bitch.
No, hey, so like,
Sub a
so,
thousand, Clutch.
so
How dare you
today,
say
so I mean, today's gonna be the telltale sign of what they're going to do. There's also a probability that we could just fucking sit here for 2 days. So,
Well, you know, today's a setup day. And we had this big move over the weekend to the
right.
downside. But we all know, you know, Mondays are kind of setting up for the rest of the week. So this would be a good day to decide on what they're going to actually do, you know, later on in the week.
So there's still a CME up here from Friday close as well, 1430. So that's something that we do want to definitely take into consideration. And us bouncing up to that 1430 only to come down and crash through this. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of like that move. So we'll see what happens there. But in the meantime, let's get over to High Block Capital and see what's going on over there. All right, yeah, so here's Bookmap. As you can see, it looks like we're starting to move forward. This is the first 10 minutes of that open. And we got some stuff up here at 1340. Again, we got big time liquidity down here at 1200. So 1200 is that little secret area that we were talking about. We didn't get anything past 1280, high 1270 last night on the way down. And I was expecting that we might crash all the way down there, but we didn't. But as you can see, they're starting to put some orders up here to the upside to try to get people committed to those longs. So, and there's plenty of liquidity out there. So it's a matter if they get up there and get into it. Again, 1500 are not out of the question today. Today is definitely going to be our direction tell for what we're going to get into on Wednesday. So right now, it does look a little bullish as we are above the VWAP. I would say if we get up about 1350, go ahead and expect some higher prices today. If we get rejected right up here in this area and start heading back down and retest at 1300 again, I think there's a good chance we're going to go down. So those are kind of the ranges. And that's all I have for today. But in the short term, I'm definitely bullish today.
Great job, Clutch.
Oh, man.
Great analysis as always. I've got nothing else to add to that wonderful prediction.
All right, guys. That's all we have for today. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Until next time. AMF.
Adios, my friends.
Stay frosty.